So it is finally going to happen. We are starting to get some good news regarding oil prices. Oil prices are eventually going to come down. This is good. But gas prices are still elevated. Over the past few days, really over the past week, we have been seeing gas prices just tick up and up and up. Well, here's what's happening. And at the end of this video, I want to give you some actual tips on how you can use less oil. Okay, so make sure you stick around for this entire video. But here's what we know. We are finally getting some good news on gas and oil in general. What we learned this week is that OPEC plus nations, they are going to be producing more oil for the months of July and August and will be increasing output by about 50%. Now, previously, OPEC nations said that they would not produce more oil just because a handful of countries, the United States being one of them, are fighting high energy prices. That's what we heard. Well, due to more recent events, they've actually decided to budge from their 400,000 barrels per day production runs. They're now going to be producing 648,000 barrels per day throughout July and August. That's good news. This increase alone means we will see an additional 15.37 million barrels of oil over just 2 months. Now, if you're thinking this is a lot of oil, don't be mistaken. This is not a lot of additional oil that is going to be produced. Just to give you an idea, the United States alone uses about 20 million barrels of oil per day. So that increase is not even going to cover one additional day for the United States. But this is why this is considered good news. The summer months, and again, this is according to experts, the summer months are going to be big when it comes to travel and also energy usage. Because of this, we are likely to see a continued spike like we have been seeing since Memorial Day. And I told you this was coming, and I didn't tell you because, I'm just smarter than the next guy. I just listened to what experts are telling us, not White House officials, not officials in another country, what experts are telling us. But here's what they are telling us now. They are saying that eventually prices will get so high, consumers are just going to stop spending money, and then eventually prices are going to have no other direction than to go back down. Well, this is exactly what Saudi officials had to say many months ago as well. They said that a small increase in oil production is not going to have an impact on gas prices. It's just not enough. But White House officials believe this is very good news because it will have an impact on gas prices. Again, do you listen to the Saudi officials that are actually dealing with the day-to-day operations, or are we going to listen to the White House who says this is good news because gas prices are going to come back down? They will come back down. But the only other obstacle that we must address now is the amount of oil that Americans are using. This is the issue. Okay, again, I love how the White House puts the responsibility on the American people. It's not President Biden. That's not what they're saying. They're saying the American people just driving too much, spending too much money, using too much oil, right? We're just consuming too much energy. We need to figure out a way to do less. Well, here's what we know. Experts say that with this increase in production, of 248,000 barrels per day for the next 2 months, it is now time for the American people, well, not even just the American people across the globe to use less. This is the only way we're going to increase supply because everyone's using so much oil as of right now. The only option is to decrease demand. Increase supply and decrease demand. That's the only way we're going to get more of a surplus. So this is what experts are saying that we need to do right now, to consume less oil. First thing, and I remember when former President Barack Obama addressed this, and people made fun of him. But this is true. Experts say we need to pump up our tires so our cars have the proper PSI. They say if your tires are not inflated correctly, it creates added resistance, which means you use more gas. The next thing, block any air leaks in your home. And this will allow you to use your AC and your heater less if you block any leaks. Don't be cooling off your house and then you have a window open and all the cold air is going out. That's not going to do any good, right? You like that old man that says, "Oh, am I paying to cool the outside, right?" But it's a smart thing. Like, close the window, close the door, right? You don't gotta heat the outside. Another one, get a smart thermostat. And you're probably thinking, well, why do I need a smart thermostat? One of the reasons why I like the one that we have here at our house is very simple. We set it up so that at night it's not running if we don't need it to run. If it's cooler outside, we don't need the house freezing, right? Or when it's hot, right, outside, we don't need to be heating the inside of the house as well, right? The outside is going to do it. But also, one of the things I really like is I like to keep the temperature fairly cold. That's for me personally. So when I leave the house, it doesn't matter if the house is 70 degrees. It could be 74 degrees. The additional 4 degrees isn't going to matter because I'm not there. So having a smart thermostat where it will change when I'm not home, it makes sense. Or we go on vacation or whatever it is, we don't need to be heating or cooling a house that nobody is actually in. And the next thing experts say, change the lighting in your home to LED lights. The reason for this is because LED lights do not produce heat. Okay, that's the difference. So if you got a bunch of lights, and sometimes, especially here in my office, I have a few different lights. I have one over here, produce a lot of heat. It's actually fairly hot. So I have to keep my office fairly cold, which is a lot of reasons why, a lot of times why I'm wearing a sweater, and it could be the middle of the summer. But that's why, it's because my office is very cold, because my lights, I got two right here, I got one behind me, one over here on this wall, they are very hot. They are not LED lights though. That's the problem. So again, these are things that you can do to just consume less energy, all right, where you will not use as much oil, which is what, according to experts, they say now that we are increasing the supply a little bit, we have to decrease demand, which means everybody, not just the people here in the United States, but all across the world, have to use less. So that's what we know at this time. But as always, keep in mind, and I wanted to just update you guys on this because I got a lot of questions asking, so does this mean gas prices are just going to plummet? No, they're not going to plummet because this does very little. The only difference is it's doing it in the time of the summer where most people are traveling. So that right there could actually slow down the increase in gas prices. But at the same time, the expectation is they're still going to go up a little bit, but eventually oil prices will start coming down, but it's going to require all of our help. So we'll see what happens there. Again, it is somewhat good news, but as I know more, I promise I'll come back on, share all latest news and updates again. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.